there she goes. And as you can see, she's traveling at quite a crab angle. Let's see that again. Watch this. Enormous crosswind from the left, as you can see by looking at the track and by looking at our heading. We are a little less than 15 minutes away from top of descent, and I want to show you what we're going to do, because this is going to be a little bit funky. Decided to fly this as an autopilot assisted Blue Needle DME arc, and to do that we've got some real complications here that I'm not sure whether I worked around, but we can make it work one way or the other. We're going to descend ultimately to 2,200 feet. When we do, we're going to fly in on this radial. We're going to make a left turn, and as we fly on this, we are going to have our nav1 tuned to this, and we've got our initial track set for 255 plus 10, so 265. And if you notice right here, it's going to look like this. And the needle is going to be deviated this way, and we're going to be flying into it with this perpendicular to us. And the needle is going to come in, and as it does, we are going to increase the course by 10 degrees and the heading by about 10 degrees, keeping an eye on this DME to make sure that it stays within a very small amount, plus or minus, of 16. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off our weather radar, because there seems to be a glitch in it. It is putting up a test pattern, and yet it is not on test. So, off goes the weather radar, because it's not doing us any good. Now, the complication is that at some point, right about here, we're going to have to switch nav1 over to the localizer frequency, because that's what we're going to intercept to shoot the ILS. Also, another complication is that this localizer does not have its own DME. So in order to get distance information, we have to have this station tuned in to get the DME. So how do we do that? We've got 3 frequencies we really need to keep tuned in. Well, here's what we're going to do, and I'm not sure if this is going to work. We are going to have 112.7, which is the vortac we're doing the arc off of, in 1 and 2. That means we're going to have, from number 2, a green needle pointing to the left off of our, pointing to the right off of our right wing, always pointing at the station. So if we don't keep up with our twisting and turning on this one, we can still glance at this one and see that it is off our wing. I suppose we could use it exclusively, and we probably will just switch to it at some point. This is our localizer frequency, and at some point we're going to flip-flop this over. This is a function called DME hold, in which the DME that will be displayed will not be 112.7. At least it won't be on this side, this green DME. Instead, this green DME will be a 3rd frequency, which is this guy here. You invoke this by clicking on this line select, hitting the top one, holding in DME hold, and then letting go, and it sticks it down here. You tune in what you want to hold. I think. So we'll see if we can make that work. If not, what we'll do is we'll simply use this. We'll simply put this up in nav2, and we will toggle this into our active for nav1. And the inbound course on that is 130. Not sure if we can make this work, but we'll give it a try. And just in case we don't, I'm going to save our situation here. And you'll never be the wiser. No, that's not true. I will let you know. Alright, so 9 minutes from TOD. We are back over land. We are over Newfoundland. And the crosswind has increased even more. There's our TOD. There's our arc. There's our airport. Very quickly check our perf page, see how we're doing with respect to fuel. It says if we continue at the rate we're going, we will have 52 minutes of flying on board when we get there, but in fact we'll have somewhat more because we're going to be coasting downhill for a good chunk of the way after this. So that'll go up to about a minute, an hour, and 10 minutes, which is plenty of flying time. Our alternate is St. John, which is down that way. But the forecast is not too bad, so we should be good to go in any case. Let me just quickly get an update on the weather. Partly cloudy, 3015. Few at 2500, few at 24,000. Alright. We're good. That is our nav1 and our nav2 pointing at the station we're going to be running the arc off of. But we will not start that arc until this needle is actually pointed right about there. No, actually, I'm wrong. We are making directly for here, and we will actually start flying this arc. We will make our turn when this DME hits about 18. Got my reciprocal reversed. And actually the way we can tell is, see, this is 115 to the waypoint, and 114 to the waypoint, and that's 130 to the actual station. The difference between the two is 16, and that is our arc. Just waiting for VNAV to come in. This crosswind is just brutal. see, we've got a 43 knot tailwind component, and the rest of it is blowing us that way. So that's 103, that's 63 knots of crosswind component. That's what you call arithmetic. Now we're going to be doing a lot of things coming up. We're also going to have to remember to spin our altitude down to 2200 and start descending. Now we could let the airplane do all of this, basically. It is programmed to just fly this thing, so. But that has never been fun. We are not button pushers. We are mistake makers. We are pooch screwers. Proud of it. Because when through some minor miracle our tiny skill prevails over fate and our own stupidity, we can walk away with a quiet glow of satisfaction. How's that for dime store philosophy? All right, 3 miles from TOD. Is local. Any second now. There we go. Look at that. Hit VNAV. And Bob's your mother's brother. And another minute and 45 seconds. This will start its inexorable march towards the middle. And we will start plunging towards a pretty exciting approach. So what I'm going to do before that is tell the passengers to sit the hell down. Oh, that's right, I already have. Never mind. So again, 83 from 99 is 16, and that's the distance to the beginning of our arc. you see, because of our little trick with refresh rates, how little stutter there is? I like it. And here comes TOD. Down we go. Just rolling out the power as we do. Just arresting the climb of those numbers. Don't do this to me, throttle quadrant, please. Don't. Thank you, SideTech. Alright. They gave a little glitch, my number 2 power lever, and thankfully it didn't screw up the engine. So we're established on our descent. We're monitoring this because this is the distance to our arc, and we're actually going to enter the arc just slightly outside of it because the turn is going to take us into it. We're also going to keep an eye on which way the wind is blowing us so we can correct for that as we go around the arc. For a little more anal retentive, or just a little more attentive, I'd make a closer note at what the turning radius of this airplane is at the speed we're going to be at doing a standard rate or a half standard rate turn, so that I would know exactly when to do that turn so that we slice right into that arc at 16 miles. But I'll confess I'm going to do this in the spirit more of discovery than mastery, if you know what I'm saying. Give it a little more juice. Boy, there ain't a lot of anything down there, is there? And we're looking for 18,000 feet. Switch over to local altimeter at that point. When we get to 10, I'm basically going to do everything except props to configure ourselves because we're going to get very busy. We'll be flying in heading select mode and blue needles using this knob, this knob, this knob, and that button to go down. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off this white. No, you know what? I'm going to keep on the white needle because that will give us guidance. When I flip-flop over temporarily, it'll give us guidance as to where the localizer is. Now, you know what? If I can't tolerate it if the airplane can't tolerate it for 2.5 seconds in heading select mode, then I did my job very badly. So we'll just keep the one green needle in that. Once we enter that arc, we're going to want it right off of our right wing as we go around the arc. As we look at this, and look at that. You see how it says DME 2H? That is the distance to our station that we're using as the DME for the localizer approach. It works. That means, I think, H for held, or DME hold. And that means that we are picking up this DME right there. Alright, some of the magic works at least. Okay, set our local altimeter. Slow ourselves down a little bit. And if you look at our perf page, you'll see that our endurance is now up to an hour 25. That'll come back down when we get back on the power. But that's a reflection of the fact that we're just rolling downhill here like the big fat dash that we are. So we're about 30 miles right now from the beginning of our arc. And again, what we're going to do is pop into heading select mode, make a 90-degree turn. We are going to flip our nav source over, and then we are going to fly the arc. And then we're going to come down in altitude to 2200. We are also going to, about 2/3 of the way through that arc, flip our nav1 over to localizer. We're going to put in the course, the approach course, which is 130, and then we are going to intercept that once we cross about the 312 of that arc. So when we cross the 312 radial, we can start our turn inbound. Gonna be fun. Lot to do. Got a little ice. Turn on the boots. Turn on the heaters, open the doors. And now that I'm up here and we're almost at 10, I'm also going to turn on our lights. And check our landing elevation. Should be 488 plus 500. That's good enough. Bleeds are fine. It's cold outside. Let's turn the bleeds to min. No, you know what? There won't be enough to run the boots. Okay, again, this is the DME we're looking for. We're going to keep it at 16. See what the wind looks like. See, there's the arc. You know what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to pop us. Now, you see, if I pop us into heading select, I will lose our VNAV path, but that's okay. So, I'm going to first pop us into vertical speed mode. And I'm going to put an alt cell on the bottom. 5,000. No, as a matter of fact, we'll spin it down to 2,200 because we can come down that far. Outsell. Now we're going to pop us in heading select. And we're going to keep ourselves from getting too deviated. All right. And we're going to flip over to blue needles. And you see, once we turn this way, this is going to be perpendicular to us. And we're going to slow down to 200 to fly the arc. Before we do that, we are going to turn our bleeds to min. And we're going to turn off our ice protection because we don't need it. All right, here we go. As Dan Rather once said, courage. As he once said the next night, coraje. As everybody who worked at CBS News said, huh? All right. Now, we are going to spin our heading right about to there when we get, I'd say, another 3 miles from here. And we'll adjust our rate of turn to see if we can do that right. Now this 5,000 is an artificial constraint. We only have to be at 2,200 or above. So okay, Freddy, get ready. There's our speed. And here comes our turn. .4. 17. 16.7. In comes our needle. 16.5. Spin our course to the right. 16.2. Just shallow us out. 16.1. 16. Bang. Okay. I'm going to come a little bit out. There's the needle off our right wing. Okay, we're at about 15.9. Let's fly out a little bit more. The wind is pushing us in. Okay, 15.8. Let's set up a little crab. 15.8. Okay. 15.9.
2500.
Okay. Spin that around. 16. Spin this around now. Another 10 degrees. Getting a little bit out. Now, at this point, we are going to put out our first notch of flaps. We're going to flip this over to our localizer. Okay, there we are. And we are going to bring a little more power here. Okay. And we are going to change our course to 130, which is our approach course. We're right bang on the arc. Okay, that's set. And we are going to wait for that localizer to come in. And we don't see it. Localizer 1099. Ah, that's why. It's 1093. There we are. Okay, we're right on the arc, and we're coming up on our turn, which will be right when this needle gets right about to there. We'll be allowed to turn. And that should put us on a nice intercept for our localizer. And there we go. Okay, put ourselves in nav mode so we can grab that localizer. And here it comes. And here we go. And in a second, we'll go catch the glide slope. Spin us around to runway heading. Okay. Localizer captured. Nice looking sunset. Just retrim here. Just cancel our VNAV so it stops barking at us. Okay, there's our localizer coming in. Put our gear down. Notch of flaps. Here comes the glide slope. Set up for reduced noise. Landing. Bleeds are already on min. We're cleared to land. Pop in approach. Let us go flying. Bit of a crosswind from the right. Just going to duck down below the glide slope just a little bit to slow down. That should do it. Yes, I know.
Light slope.
No kidding.
Light slope. Light slope. Light slope.
Oh, be quiet.
Light slope.
And we're visual with the runway. See the crab we got going here? A little bit of a tailwind.
500.
Giving us a little bit of extra speed. We will land a little bit long because of that. It's gusty too. Cranking in even more of a crab.
Plus 100.
Taking some of it out. Trying to maintain center line.
Minimums. Minimums. $100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
That was a little gusty. And welcome to Gander. And looks like they do land and hold short operations here. Certainly an exciting little approach. And since it is quite the taxi back to this rather nice Orbix free airport, we will leave things where they stand here. Well, here, let me just look right here so you can get a look at the facilities, because there's a big old 747 making a technical stop, taking on a little fuel. And it looks like a Delta 75. Anyway, as we lock our gusts and turn off our pumps and turn off our auxes and all that good stuff. Drop our spoilers. And make our way onto the ramp. That's pretty cool. These Orbix cats, they know what they're doing. This is part of their North American bundle of free airports. Little fire truck going. Nice. Very nice. Alright, well, with that, our next stop is Nook in Greenland. So, until then, thanks as always for watching, and see you soon.